Ever get tongue-tied talking about a book? Like you just finished something amazing and you want to share your thoughts, but you're like, it was good.
I've been there.
We're doing a deep dive today on how to discuss literature in English so we can all finally express ourselves with a little more, eloquence.
And confidence. Because this isn't just about sounding smart. It's about unlocking this whole new level of enjoyment for any book you read. Seriously.
It's true. And it can even help us connect with people from different backgrounds, maybe even understand different cultures a little better.
That's one of the things I love most about literature. It's like a window into different worlds, right?
Totally. So this deep dive is based on this really insightful podcast episode we found. It's packed with tips. And they start with the basics, vocabulary.
Yeah, they emphasize that having a good grasp of literary terms can really enhance your understanding and make it easier to discuss books.
Don't worry, though. We're not going to bore you with a vocab quiz or anything like that.
No pop quizzes, I promise. But familiarizing yourself with terms like, genre, plot, or setting can really provide a solid framework for discussion.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Like if I'm talking about The Great Gatsby with a friend, knowing these terms helps me explain why it's considered a tragedy or discuss the themes of wealth and the American dream.
Exactly. Or how the setting, the Roaring Twenties play such a huge role in the characters' motivations and decisions.
The source even had a whole section on symbolism, which I thought was really cool. They used the green light in The Great Gatsby as an example. It's not just a light, right? It represents all of Gatsby's hopes and dreams.
Oh, absolutely. And that's just one example. Symbolism is everywhere in literature. Learning to spot these hidden meanings can make readings so much more enriching.
I know. And the podcast episode we're looking at gives us so many practical phrases we can use when discussing books. Like, instead of just blurting out, "I liked it," which, let's face it, we've all done.
CLT is charged.
We can say something like, "I was really drawn to the way the author developed Scout's character in To Kill a Mockingbird."
Yes. And that immediately elevates your conversation. It shows you're thinking critically about the text.
It's so much more specific, right?
Absolutely. And the source also encourages us to ask questions during discussions. Things like, what did you think of the ending? Or how did this particular scene make you feel?
Oh, I like that. That's a great way to keep the conversation flowing and make sure everyone feels included.
Exactly. And it helps draw out those different perspectives, which is what makes discussing literature so interesting in the first place.
It's like suddenly I feel equipped to have a much deeper conversation about anything I read.
I know, right? It's amazing how a few simple tips can make such a huge difference. And it's funny because sometimes you learn the most from making mistakes, right?
Totally. Like you learn by doing.
Yeah, exactly. And the podcast episode we're looking at, they actually address some common mistakes people make when discussing literature.
That's so helpful.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all been there at some point, maybe accidentally spoiling the ending or, going a little overboard with the literary jargon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, who hasn't been there? And speaking of spoilers, that's actually one of the biggest mistakes they highlight.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in a story and then accidentally blurt out a key plot point.
It happens to the best of us, but it's definitely something to be mindful of.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin the book for someone else.
Exactly. And the other big mistake they mention is overusing jargon.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's great to know those literary terms, but you don't want to bombard people with overly academic language.
Right. It can make the conversation feel kind of intimidating.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want to enhance the discussion, not make it sound like a lecture from a college professor.
It's all about finding that balance.
Right. Using the right terms to spice things up, but not overdoing it.
I like that analogy.
And they also talk about being specific, right?
Oh, yeah. Instead of just saying, "I didn't like it."
Exactly. You want to explain why you felt that way, maybe connect it back to a specific character or a scene or a theme.
So instead of the ending was disappointing, I could say something like, "I felt the ending undermined the character development we saw throughout the novel."
No, that's a good point.
It sounds so much more insightful.
Oh, absolutely. It shows you're really thinking critically about the text.
And speaking of critical thinking, the source encourages us to not be afraid to disagree.
Oh, I love that.
Like, it's okay to have different interpretations. That's what makes discussions so interesting.
100% agreed. And I think that's something people sometimes struggle with, especially if they're new to discussing literature.
It can be intimidating to voice an opinion that's different from someone else's, especially if you feel like they know more than you.
Right. But that's where the real magic of discussion lies.
It's about those different perspectives, respectfully challenging each other's interpretations, and ultimately, arriving at a richer understanding of the work.
It's like we're all bringing our own unique pieces to the puzzle.
I like that. And sometimes, you might not be sure about something, or you might not understand a particular term, or maybe you're just not sure how to pronounce an author's name, and that's okay.
It's more than okay. It's completely normal.
You don't have to be a literary expert to participate in discussion.
Exactly. And admitting that you don't know something can actually make the conversation more engaging.
It shows that you're genuinely interested in learning.
It creates a more welcoming space for everyone.
And at the end of the day, discussing literature is really about connecting with other people who share our love of stories.
It's about finding that common ground, exploring different viewpoints, and enriching our understanding of the world,
Through the power of words.
through the power of stories, and those connections can happen anywhere.
Really anywhere. Book clubs, classrooms, online forums, even just chatting with friends.
Exactly. It's all about fostering that love of literature.
And recognizing that everyone has something valuable to contribute.
I love that. And
Yeah.
this podcast episode has given us so many great tools to do just that.
So do you have any final takeaways you want to share from this part?
It's like they're saying, hey, it's okay to relax and enjoy the conversation.
Right, you don't have to have all the answers or pretend to be some kind of literary scholar.
Yeah.
Just be yourself, share what you thought, and be open to hearing other perspectives.
Exactly. It's about that genuine connection with the text and with other readers.
I also love how they emphasize making connections, like connecting the book to your own life or to other books you've read, or even to what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, it helps you see the book in a whole new light, like it brings it to life.
Totally. And it can lead to some really interesting aha moments, like you mentioned, 1984, before maybe reading, that sparks a conversation about data privacy and surveillance in today's world.
Oh, absolutely. And it reminds us that these stories, even the ones written ages ago, still have something to say about, the human experience. They're still relevant.
And it's not just about analyzing the words on the page, it's about those personal connections too.
Right. Maybe a character reminded you of someone you know, or a certain scene just totally resonated with you. Those are the things that make a book really stick with you.
And by sharing those personal reflections, it makes the discussion even richer.
It's like we're all adding our own layer of meaning to the book.
Oh, I like that. One thing I thought was super helpful was their emphasis on asking questions.
Oh, yeah, me too. Such a simple thing, but it makes a huge difference.
Instead of just saying, I think this, it's like, what did you think about this?
It opens up the conversation.
And it shows that you're actually interested in what other people have to say.
It makes it more of a dialogue, less of a lecture, more of a back and forth.
And it creates a safer space for everyone to share their thoughts, even if they're not, super confident about their literary analysis skills.
We're all learning here, right?
Exactly. So to wrap things up, I think this podcast episode has really reminded us that discussing literature can be both fun and enriching.
It's not about being right or wrong. It's about sharing those perspectives and connecting with other people who love books.
And ultimately, it's about deepening our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
And who knows, maybe even inspiring us to pick up a new book.
Well said. Now, excuse me, I have a sudden urge to go start a book club. Happy reading, everyone.